Good day, nurses. So our topic for today is about your theoretical foundation of nursing practice. So this was your subject last first year. So alalahanin natin ng mga naging topics ninyo before. So I hope na you will listen because I made it simple and I gave some examples so that you can understand it easily. Okay, so for example, di ba ang theory, lagi nyo yan na didinig, lalo na nitong third year kayo and fourth year regarding your thesis. Diba? Sa thesis niyo gumagamit kayo ng theoretical framework. Okay? So, by the word itself, framework, siya yung ginagamit ninyo as para siyang skeleton. No? Siya yung basihan ninyo ng inyong study. Okay? With your nursing practice, siya naman yung basihan ninyo ng inyong nursing practice. Okay? So let's move with our next slide. So theoretical foundation of nursing practice provides a structured framework for nursing practice, education, research, and leadership. So these theories guide how nurses assess patients, plan and deliver care, and evaluate outcomes. Okay? So the theory not only support the nursing practice, but it also support the education, research, just like what I said before, and also yung leadership. Okay? So kung maalala ninyo, there are different mga types of leaderships na nanggaling din yun sa theory. Kasi pinag-aralan din yung mga different na management and leadership styles ng mga previous na mga leaders. No? So these theories guide how nurses assess patients, plan and deliver care, and evaluate outcomes. Okay? So ganun po kahalaga ang theories. So yung theory po hindi lang siya parang katang isip, but yun ay mga proven na mga studies na until now na pwede nating gamitin to improve our nursing practice. Okay? So ano ba nursing theories? It is an organized bodies of knowledge that describe, explain, predict, or prescribe nursing care. So it answers what nursing is, what nurses do, and why they do it. Okay? So with the theory, kaya niya explain yung ginagawa ng mga nurses. Kaya niyang isupport na tama yung ginagawa ng nurses. Kaya niyang improve ang isang practice ng isang nurse. Okay? With the use of these theories. Okay? So with this, also with these theories, mas lalo natin mapapagaling ang ating patient because we are scientific. We have a basis ng ating nire-render na service. Okay? So, the evolution of nursing theories, no? So, syempre, hindi naman yan nag-umpisa lang this year. But nag-start na yan before pa na ma-recognize ang ating profession, no? As isang, uh, uh, I mean, yung ating work as a nurse bago pa siya ma-accept na isang profession. So, the nursing theory started, di ba, pre-1950s. So, meaning bago pa 1950s, meron na po tayong nursing theories or nursing na profession, no? O not start, hindi kasi siya nag-start as profession eh, 'di ba? Vocation lang siya dati. Ano? So, nung 19 pre-1950s, so ang pinaka-focus lang ng nursing noon was the basic care and hygiene. 'Di ba? Basta kalinisan lang, walang sakit. Okay? And then in 1950s to 1960s, the beginning of theoretical theories, no? So nursing as a distinct discipline. So defines nursing and distinguish siya in difference with the medicine. Okay? So dito, basic care and hygiene. Dito naman, differentiate ang nursing versus sa medicine. So, ibig sabihin, sineparate na yung function ng nursing sa medicine. And then sa conceptual models era no 1970s to 1980s, this is the structured frameworks. So this is the during this time yung development ng grand theories. So mamaya discuss natin yung mga ibig sabihin ng grand theories, yung practice level theories, middle theories, like that, na middle range theories. Yan. And then, middle range theories era. So, ito grand, this is the middle range, no? During the 1980s to 2000s. So, it is a practical application ng mga theories. And then, bridging the theory and practice. So, ibig sabihin yung nursing sa school versus sa nursing sa practice. Okay? And then sa contemporary nursing theories naman, no, nung year 2000 up to present, so this is what you call the holistic and global approaches. So there is an evidence-based practice, patient-centered care, integration with technology, culture, ethics, and global health. So in short, ito na yung mga makabago. Ito yung mga, kumbaga, new era. Ano? So lumabas na diyan yung use of technologies, 'di ba? Kaya ngayon kay Rosano Locsin, no, 'di ba? Meron ng mga theory ganun na mga lumabas. Ano? So ganyan po evolution ng theory nun, no? So again, nag-start sa basic care and hygiene, dinifferentiate ang nursing versus the medicine. Lumabas ang grand theory, sumunod ng middle range theories, and then your new era theories. Na involved na ang technology. Okay? So, ang nursing paradigm po natin ay meron siyang 4 concepts which involves your person who is the recipient of care, your environment, that is the internal and external surroundings affecting the person. So, what surrounds the person influences the person. Okay? And then your health, diba? That is the level of wellness or well-being. And nursing, the actions, characteristics, and attributes of nurse providing the care. So the nurse's role and actions in caring. Okay, so ang ating mga nursing theories nagre-revolve sa core concepts po na ito. Itong 4 concepts, the person, environment, health, and the nursing. So therefore, we are going to discuss the nursing theories based in this nursing meta paradigm, or the core concepts. Okay, so narinig nyo kanina yung binanggit ko about the grand theories, the middle range theories, and the practice level theories. So discuss natin siya isa-isa. Now, yung grand theories, that is broad and abstract. No, so they deal with high-level concepts and don't easily translate into specific testable hypothesis. So medyo magulo siya, mahirap intindihin, no? Kumbaga lahat ng sulok-sulukan ng theory, kailangan mo siya ma-explore before mo siya ma-implement. And then middle range theories, ayan, no? Middle range theories, so more specific and applicable to our practice. So it falls between the abstract and broad theories and very specific theories. Okay, so syempre, sa gitna siya, kailangan siya middle, di ba? Napapagitnaan siya ng medyo complicated na mga theories and yung mga simple theories. So in short, yung middle range daw po yung karaniwang nagagamit into practice ng nursing. And then practice level theories, mas narrow siya in scope, focus on specific situations. So ibig sabihin po, wala na siya ibang sangay-sangay. Like yung kay Benner. Yung kay Benner, competency. Yung kay Benner, yung level of experience lang. Yun lang. Wala na iba siyang gustong i-target. Unlike sa iba mga systems model, merong emotion, merong emotional, spiritual, merong pang intellectual, financial, and social. Yan. So, ang tawag na ron, grand theories. Yung lahat finocus niya para magkaroon ng wellness o health yung pasyente. Okay? Another na differentiation niya, ito yung aspect no, na pagbabasihan natin, the abstract level, testability, use in research, and yung purpose. Sa grand theory, ang abstract level niya is high, moderate lang sa middle range, and then sa practice level naman ay low. Testability niya, usually not directly testable ang grand theory. And then often testable naman ang middle range theory. Pag practice level theory naman, easily testable or applied. Kaya usually, ang ginagamit nyo sa thesis, itong middle range and itong practice level theory. So, use in research. So, framework for broad studies. No? Pag masyadong complicated din yung pinag-aaralan, grand theory ang gagamitin. So, basis for focus research questions, yung ating middle range, and ang practice level naman natin, guide specific clinical intervention is specific. Ano, kasi nga siya ay practice level. And then sa purpose, sa grand theory, it define nursing as a discipline. Sa middle range theory naman, it explain specific phenomena. Okay, yung isang pangyayari. Ano, ini-explain ng middle range theory. Okay, and then guide daily nursing practice naman ng ating practice level theory. Okay, later on di-discuss natin yung mga theories under the different na mga theory o yung mga general classifications ng theory. Ano? So, yung grand theories, again, it guides general nursing practice and thinking. Ang middle range theories address particular phenomenon or populations. Okay? Pag practice level theories naman, often develop from bedside experience. Okay? So, again, ito nursing, general nursing practice and thinking. Okay? Ito naman, phenomena and populations. Ang focus niya. And then dito naman is nag-gain siya sa bedside experience. Okay? So, ganyan po yung difference nung tatlo. The grand theory, the middle range theory, and the practice level theory. So, most probably, meron na kayong idea sa kung ano yung mga theory na pwede natin i-discuss ngayon because you underwent already your thesis. Ano? So, alam nyo na kung paano siyang ginamit ninyo sa inyong research. So, ngayon naman magfo-focus naman tayo sa kung paano nyo siya gagamitin into our nursing practice. Okay? Okay. So, let's move with our next topic. Ano? The major nursing theorist. Okay? And their theory. Okay? We have the grand, middle range, and the practice level. No? So, kung makita na ninyo, pag naka-grand, color green, pag yellow, middle range, pag red, ay practice level theory. Okay? Para di kayo maguguluhan. Okay? So, let's start with the first, no? Pinakakilala sa lahat. Si Florence Nightingale, the environmental theory. So, the environmental theory, ang sinasabi niya dyan, ang health is affected by the environment such as your cleanliness, ventilation, and light. So, environment plays a critical role in healing. By improving a patient's surroundings, nurses can help the body recover naturally. Okay? So, sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, yung meta paradigm niya, gagamitin natin the person, health, environment, and nursing. So, paano niya dinidescribe ng theory, na environmental theory? Ang person is a patient affected by the environment. So, ano ba ang environment? So, physical surroundings such as your cleanliness, ventilation, light, and noise. Ano naman ang health para sa environmental theory? Not just the absence of the disease, but the use of the nature's laws. Okay? So kumbaga yung natural na surroundings gagamitin natin to improve the health of the patient. So ano naman daw po function ng nursing? To manipulate the environment to aid in healing. Okay, manipulate the environment. So ano ba ang mga key concepts ng environmental theory? Siyempre, we have your cleanliness. Ano pa? Fresh air. Ano pa? Your light. Diba? Ang sinasabi dyan, kailangan daw ng natural light. Like yung sun. Diba? Noise control. Diba? Noise control. Warmth. Diba? Patients should be kept warm, no? To support the healing process. Ano pa? Diet. Ang sabi niya, proper and timely nutrition is crucial. No? Sinasabi, proper and timely. Mahalaga ang timely na pagpapakain. No, hindi pa pwedeng yung lunch time na pinapakain mo na parang merienda ng hapunan. 'Di ba? Then next, clean water. So, kailangan merong access sa clean water, ano, for hydration and hygiene. Hindi lang yung pang-inom, kundi pati panglinis ng katawan. And then, personal cleanliness. So, the patient should be kept clean to prevent infections and discomfort. And then, sanitation. Okay, so proper waste disposal and hygiene practices to prevent the disease spread. And then your observation of the patient. So nurses must observe patients carefully to detect subtle changes in condition. So in short po, hindi po nag-e-end sa paglilinis ng environment ang inyong environmental theory, but also nagko-continue siya if meron bang changes na nagaganap sa patient. Kasi baka mamaya yung pag-a-adjust mo ng environment, instead na nakaka-help sa healing, mas lumalala pa pala siya doon sa ginagawa mong adjustment. 'Di ba? Ano example niyan ng ating environmental theory? So, keeping patients room clean, quiet, and well ventilated to promote recovery. 'Di ba? Even nga yung inyong bedsheet kailangan wrinkle-free, 'di ba? Kailangan wrinkle-free. Yan ang sinasabi ng environmental theory para ma-provide mo yung healing sa pasyente. Ano, not just yung hangin, yung noise na mawawala, yung sikat ng araw, but also yung mismong beddings ng pasyente mo, hindi siya mangangati, 'di ba? So makakapag-promote ka daw ng healing kapag ganun ang iyong ginawa. Which is totoo naman, 'di ba? Just like kayo, pagka sa bahay ninyo, kahirap matulog kapag luma na yung linen. But however, there are some people na parang sanay pa yata dun sa matagal na because yung body nila, yung texture daw mas sanay. But however, sanay lang yung body nila with that kind of texture. Ano, kasi nga, matagal nang ginagamit. Ano, kumbaga yung memory mo, yung response ng body mo, mas hinahanap na yung madalas. 'Di ba? However, in reality, that causes ng disease sa atin, no? Skin disease, lung disease, 'di ba? So what more sa ating pasyente lalo pag di kayo nagpapalit ng linen sa ospital, 'di ba? So that's a wrong practice. Okay, our next topic is about the theory of Virginia Henderson or the need theory. Okay, so ano sinasabi sa theory ni Virginia Henderson? Helping patients gain independence in meeting the 14 basic needs. Okay, 14 basic needs. So nursing is about assisting the individuals according to Henderson, no? Sick or well. Sick or well, dapat daw i-assist natin ang ating mga pasyente. So, in performing activities that contribute to health, recovery, or a peaceful death, so which they could do unaided if they had strength, will, or knowledge. Okay, so ano ang person para sa kanya? Individual needing help to gain independence sa environment conditions external to the person, and then health, that is the ability to function independently. So meaning, sa theory ni Henderson, if hindi makapag-function independently ang isang pasyente, kailangan niya ng nursing or ng nurse, no? Nurse and nursing, according kay Virginia Henderson, assisting with activities until the patient can do them. So meaning, in time na hindi pa kaya ni patient, nursing is needed. Ano? So ano ba yung kanyang 14 na basic needs, no? It is further ano classified into physical needs, safety needs, and your physiological needs. Ano ba ang 8 physical needs according to Virginia Henderson na isang pasyente? Kailangan daw a patient can breathe normally, eat and drink adequately, eliminate body waste, move and maintain posture, sleep and rest, maintain body temperature, keep the body clean and protect the skin, and dress and undress appropriately. For your safety, mayroong isa, that is to avoid environmental dangers and prevent injury. And 5, psychosocial needs. Communicate with others, worship according to one's faith, work with a sense of accomplishment, participate in play or recreation, and then learn and satisfy curiosity. So yun daw po yung 14 basic needs according to Virginia Henderson. You have 8 physical needs, 1 safety needs, and 5 psychosocial needs na kailangan daw po nating i-assist ang patient, no? Again, ano ba yung 8 na physical needs? That is to breathe normally, eat and drink, eliminate body waste, move and maintain posture, sleep and rest, maintain body temperature, keep the body clean and protect the skin, dress and undress appropriately. Ang safety needs, avoid environmental dangers and prevent injury. Ang psychosocial, communicate with others, worship according to one's faith, work with a sense of accomplishment, participate in play or recreation, and learn and satisfy curiosity. So anong example niyan? So helping a patient with bathing and eating until they regain strength. So ang sinasabi lang ng theory ni Virginia Henderson, pag hindi kaya ng isang pasyente, dapat tulungan ng nurse hanggang siya ay makarecover, hanggang maging independent siya uli para makuha niya yung health uli na kanyang, kumbaga yung normal health niya, maibalik natin. Okay? Ganun lang po ang theory ni Virginia Henderson to satisfy the 14 basic needs, no? Okay, for our next topic, so ang ating next theory is yung kay Dorothea Orem, no? The self-care deficit nursing theory, no? So, meron ako ditong ginagawa noon, no? Ano ba, para madali ko siya matandaan. Si Orem, baligtarin mo siya, 'di ba? Para siyang meron, 'di ba? And no kabaligtaran ng meron, wala. That is deficit, self-care deficit. Now, that is just a one way ng inyong para madaling matandaan na. So, ano sinasabi ng theory ni Dorothea Orem? So, patients should perform self-care. So, nurses help when there is a deficit. So, pag may kulang, tutulungan natin. Ano? Yung kay Henderson is what? Sick or well. Ito, pag may sickness siya, may siyang hindi magawa, i-assist natin siya, yung pasyente. So, ano ang person for Dorothea Orem? A self-reliant individual. Ano? Ang environment niya has internal and external factors that affect the self-care. And health for Dorothea Orem is the ability to meet self-care demand. So meaning, if hindi nami-meet yung self-care ng pasyente, kailangan niya ng nurse. Ano? Kailangan niya ng nursing care. So, anong nursing for Dorothea Orem? So, helping individuals meet their self-care needs when they can. No? Yung kay Henderson, sick or well. Etong kay Orem, pag sick siya. Okay, so according to Orem, nursing is required when an individual is unable to meet their own self-care needs. So nurses help by supporting, or doing what the person cannot do for themselves, either temporarily or permanently, until there is an independence ay ma-restore or ma-manage. Okay? So the theory is composed of three interrelated theories. The theory of self-care, and then the theory of self-care deficit, and your theory of nursing systems. Okay? So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Sa self-care, so theory of self-care, people have a natural ability and responsibility to care for themselves. So, ibig sabihin, may kakayanan ng tao na protektahan ang sarili niya sa sakit, 'di ba? So self-care includes actions individuals take to maintain health, well-being and life. So theory of self-care deficit, so nursing is needed when a person cannot meet one or more self-care needs. So kahit one lang na need niya, hindi niya magawa, self-care deficit na po yun, no? So the deficit is the gap between what the individual can do and what they need help with. Okay? And then ang nursing theory or the nursing systems, theory of nursing system describes how nursing is delivered based on the level of assistance needed. So paano daw po ba yan? It's either wholly compensatory or partly compensatory or supportive educative. So pag sinabing wholly compensatory, nurses does all care. So like for example sa ICU, pag unconscious, intubated yung pasyente, lahat si nurse ang gagawa. Pag partly compensatory, nurse helps, patient does some. Ganun ang kanyang principle. So meaning, hati sila. Ano, like yung post-op surgery, 'di ba? So, kumbaga pag magta-turn, 'di ba, kailangan may help na ng pasyente and mayroong support yung nurse. Pagka naman supportive educative, yung nurses teaches or support yung patient. Ano, like for example, diabetic education, ano yung mga dapat niyang kakainin, 'di ba? So that is part of your theory of nursing systems. Okay? Again, ang self-care deficit ay meron siyang different theories, meron siyang classifications ng theories or composed of interrelated theories such as your self-care theory, the self-care deficit theory, and your nursing system. The nursing systems is further na madidescribe siya or paano siya dinideliver ang care through wholly compensatory, partly compensatory, and supportive educative. Okay? Ganun po ang kay Dorothea Orem. Example po na, teaching a diabetic patient how to manage insulin injections. Okay? So that is an example or paano magagamit yung self-care deficit nursing theory ni Dorothea Orem. Okay, for our next theories or theory, we have the Jean Watson theory of human caring. So caring is central to nursing. So it promotes healing and wholeness. Okay? So Jean Watson. Okay? So a person for Jean Watson is a valued person to be cared for and respected. Valued person. Environment, a field of connected energy, internal and external environments. Ang health for Jean Watson, harmony of mind, body, and soul. So, nursing for Jean Watson is a caring, moral commitment to support healing. Okay? So, nursing is a healing and caring practice that goes beyond physical treatment. Ano? Beyond physical treatment, more than the body, you have the mind and the soul. Kailangan daw nag-harmonize yung tatlo. Okay? So it emphasizes authentic relationships, compassion, and deeper connection between nurse and the patient as essential to healing. So, kung maalala ninyo si Jean Watson, sino siya? Siya yung merong ano, 10 Caritas process or the caritative process. Ano? So, ano daw po ba yung caritative processes na yon? You have your practice loving and kindness. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? You show respect, compassion, and kindness to all. 'Di ba? Then next po, be authentically present. So you need to build trusting and caring relationship. Then next, cultivate spiritual practices. You need to support spiritually their spiritual belief ng inyong mga pasyente. And then develop helping trusting relationships. So create meaningful nurse to patient bonds. Next, number five, promote positive emotions. So you need to encourage to provide hope, faith, and meaning sa life ng isang tao. And then use scientific problem solving, yun ang number six. Ibig sabihin niya, you need to combine science with compassion in decision making. Okay? Then number seven, teach and learn together. So you need to promote health education and mutual growth. Number eight, you need to create a healing environment which support the mind, the body, and the spirit. And then number nine, assist with basic needs. So you need to address both the physical and the emotional needs. Okay? And then next po is to open. Last na to to open to mystery and miracles. No? So, ibig sabihin ito, recognizes life's complexity and allows space for the unknown. So, we need to respect din daw po yun na yung mystery and miracles na mangyayari sa buhay kasi belief yun ng isang tao. Even naman kayo, may mga belief tayo, di ba, sa ating buhay na we need to respect daw po, no? So, meaning daw po lahat to, hindi mo lang mahil yung kanyang katawan, but you need to approach also yung kanyang mind and soul para siya ay maka-return sa kanyang health. No? Hindi lang daw physically, pinagaan mo yung nararamdaman niyang pain, but also na ayos mo ang kanyang mindset, yung kanyang belief, di ba? So, ano example niyan? Providing emotional and spiritual support to a dying patient. So, meaning, oo, yung pain niya na alleviate mo because bibigay ka ng pain reliever, relaxation techniques. However, it should also involve yung iyong emotional and spiritual support. Para daw, kumbaga kahit siya ay dying, pinofocus mo pa rin yung health ng iyong patient. Okay? Next, our next na theorist is si Imogen King. Okay, Imogen King. O, puro G, di ba? Puro G. O, di G, G, goal. Okay? Imogen King. Pag may nakita ka puro G, di yun yung may goal attainment theory, no? So, nurse and patient work together to achieve the health goals. No? Kailangan daw together. Magwo-work pareho ang nurse and patient, not just the nurse, no? So, ano ang person for Imogen King? A social, rational, and goal-seeking being. Ang environment for her, personal, interpersonal, and social systems. And health is a dynamic life experiences and goal achievement. No? So pag sinabi nating dynamic, nagbabago-bago, nag-change siya. Then nursing is a process of action, reaction, and interaction to meet the goals. In short, kailangan may connection si nurse at si patient to attain yung common goal. Like for example, gusto nating mapababa yung lagnat. So dapat ako bilang nurse, 'di ba, magpe-perform ng TSB. O pwede rin natin yung damit ng pasyente, kailangan nating i-loosen, 'di ba? So yung patient, kailangan niya magsuot ng loose na damit. 'Di ba? Hindi pa pwedeng ikaw lang yung nagsasabi pero yung patient hindi namang gumagawa, no? So, through the theory of goal attainment, nursing, dinescribe niya as a process of interaction where the nurse and patient communicate, set goals together, and take actions to achieve goals. So, health improves when both work together toward mutual goals. So, King's theory is part of a broader conceptual system consisting of three interacting systems. Ano ba yon? Yung personal, interpersonal, and then your social system. Okay? So this one. So focuses on the so ang personal system or individual system focuses on the patient's perspective. Diba? Kung anong perspective niya about self-growth, development, sa image, o kaya sa space niya, sa time niya, diba? Pag sinabi naman interpersonal system, two or more na people focuses on communication and relationship. So anong concepts niya? Interaction, communication, transaction, role, and stress. Then next, social system focuses on how groups and institutions influence care. So anong concept? Like yung organization, authority, power, decision making, and status. So meaning daw, nakaka-affect daw tong mga ito sa health ng patient. Sa dynamism ng pasyente at nurse, nakaka-affect daw ang personal, interpersonal, and social system. So, ngayon ano ba ang core process ng theory of goal attainment? So, number one, kailangan merong interaction. Okay? Interaction. So, the nurse and patient come together and begin to connect. Okay? So, wait, burahin natin to. So, number one ay kailangan niya ng interaction. Kailangan ng connection. Next, communication. Okay? So, they exchange information verbally and non-verbally. Okay? Pag transaction, a mutual agreement or action is decided based on the shared understanding. Kailangan same kayo ng wavelength, same kayo ng iniisip ng patient. No? Then next po is your goal setting. This is a process ng iyong goal attainment theory. Goal setting. The patient and the nurse set health-related goals together. Hindi po pwede yung ikaw lang yung nagsaset as a nurse. Kailangan pareho kayo ng patient na isa lang ang gustong mangyari. And then, this is your goal attainment. Okay, ano ba ang goal attainment? They work together, the nurse and the patient, to achieve the goals leading to improve health. So, ganyan po ang process ng kay Imogen Key na theory of goal attainment. Mag-i-interact muna yung patient at nurse, mag-uusap sila, magkakaroon ng transaction, bargaining, or ito yung gusto nating goal, magsaset tayo ng ating goal, and then yung goal attainment. Okay? Kaya po siya tinawag na goal attainment. Kailangan mag-join force si nurse at si patient. Hindi siya solo na activity to achieve health. Next. So, example niya is collaborating with patient to regain mobility post-surgery. So, hindi mo po pwedeng nurse lang yung nagtatayo, hindi humahakbang yung pasyente, hindi nakikikooperate. So, di ba mas mahihirapan ka kasi mabigat ang patient mo. Okay? So, always remember, no, sa ating nursing theories, laging ano ba ang trabaho ni nurse para ma-achieve ang health. Di ba? It always babalik sa health ng person, 'di ba? So lagi siyang paganyan nakaturo kay health. Ano yung effect ng environment kay health? Anong gagawin ni nursing sa health? Lagi siyang ganon. Okay? So ang goal naman natin dito is the healthcare of our patient. Okay? So next theory is Sister Calista Roy, o di ba? Madaling tandaan si Sister Calista Roy, sister, o di ba yung mga nuns, yung mga madre, saan sila kilala sila? Sister. Joke lang, no? Sister Calista Roy. Saan sila kilala? Di ba sa mga orphan, di ba? So, adaptation model. O, para madaling matandaan, no? It focuses on how individuals adapt to changes in the environment. So, anong person for Sister Calista Roy? A holistic being in constant interaction with the environment, which is totoo naman, di ba? Kahit naman nasa bahay ka, environment yan. Nasa school ka, environment yan. Anywhere you go, there is an environment. No? And what is environment? All conditions, circumstances, and influences affecting the development ng isang tao. Ano ang health for Sister Calista Roy? A state and process of being and becoming integrated. Process of being and becoming. Pinagsama sila. Okay? So ano ang nursing for Sister Calista Roy? It is promoting ng adaptation in four modes, which is your physiologic mode, your self-concept, the role, and the interdependence mode. Okay? So, ang adaptation model, ang tinitingnan niya is, the nursing's goal is to promote patient adaptation. Ano? So, yan nga po yung four mode na yan. So, kailangan maka-adapt daw po dyan sa, for example, physiological mode. So, physical and chemical processes involved in bodily function. Like for example, yung daw oxygenation, nutrition, elimination, and activity and rest. So meaning daw, dyan daw tayo magpe-play ng role. Ano, ma-meet yung need ng patient. Ano, maka-adapt yung patient sa oxygenation, nutrition, and elimination. Self-concept mode. So psychological and spiritual aspects such as the beliefs, feelings about self. Okay? And then, role function mode. So, roles played by the person in society. Like, for example, kung ba siya ba ay padre de pamilya, siya ba ay provider ng funds for the family para mabuhay, 'di ba? So, yun daw po yung role function mode. Okay? So, kailangan daw natin i-promote yung mga modes na yon para maka-adapt yung patient natin. And then, interdependence mode, relationships and support system, giving and receiving love, respect, and value. So, it's all about relationships, ang interdependence mode. Di ba? By giving and receiving love. So, kailangan daw yung four modes na yon, the physiologic, your self-concept, role function, interdependence mode, ay maka-adapt ang ating patient to attain a good health. Okay? So, ano daw po ba nakaka-affect doon? Yung mga stimuli. Ano ba yung mga stimuli na yon? You have your focal stimuli. So, this is the immediate stimuli confronting the person. Like for example, na-injury, nagkasakit. That is a focal stimuli. So, syempre, nakadepende doon kung paano siya mag-a-adapt. Di ba? For example, naputol yung paa. O physiological mode, paano siya nga-adapt? Di ba? Next po, contextual stimuli. So, all other stimuli present that affect the situation, like yung family support, yung culture, di ba? For example, pag ba may sakit ka, di ba? Sa iba, mga kultura, pag lalaki, kailangan strong, di ba? So, family support, andyan ba yung asawa niya? Andyan ba yung anak niya may sumusuporta pagka hindi siya makaihi? Meron bang tumutulong? Di ba? So, it affects yung mga different modes, no? So, next po is yung residual stimuli. So, unknown or unconscious factors influencing the adaptation, like yung beliefs, yung attitude ng iyong pasyente. Ano? Residual. Okay? So, na-stimuli. So, yan yung mga nakaka-affect sa pag-adapt sa modes na to, according to Sister Calista Roy. So, in short, oo, tinutulungan natin maka-adapt ang pasyente with these four modes, but we need also to check yung mga different stimuli. Yung focal, contextual, and residual. Okay, ang focal is such as yung may direct sa pasyente. Yung kumbaga immediate yung stimuli sa pasyente, which is yung illness or injury. Pag contextual naman, ito yung all other stimuli na present that affect the situation, like your family, yung culture, yan, yung environment, di ba? Then next is yung residual stimuli, so unknown or unconscious, like your beliefs and attitudes, no? So ng pasyente natin. So it will affect yung pag-adapt nila para ma-achieve yung health ng patient. Okay? So, our next topic will be about, I'll give you an example, di ba? Helping a stroke patient adapt to physical limitations and new roles, di ba? So, syempre, meron kang yung stroke patient natin, mag-a-adapt yan sa bago niyang life. Kasi 'di ba nung una nakakalakad siya ng diretso, but now kailangan niya ng either pwede ng tungkod o kailangan niya ng support from the family members, no? Kasi nagkaroon siya ng physical limitations. And because of that, na-limit din ang kanyang function. Dati, siya yung tatay, siya yung nagwo-work. Ngayon, siya yung nasa bahay. Diba? O sa bahay siya, paano siya magiging productive? Diba? So, doon papasok ang role ng nurse para maturuan natin ang pasyente to adapt sa kanyang environment. Okay? Okay, for our next topic, we have Betty Newman or the systems model. Ang systems model, so patients as system. So yun daw po yung approach ni Betty Newman. Focus on stressors and prevention. So stressors, no, SS o systems, para madali nyo matandaan. Pag narinig yung systems, so stressors, and prevention. So a person daw for Betty Newman is a complete system with physiological, psychological, sociocultural, and developmental spiritual components. Okay? And then, ang environment sa kanya is there is an internal and external stressors as mentioned by Betty Newman. And ang health daw is stability and wellness. Once ang patient natin na is stable and well ang kanyang health, syempre technically naman na-achieve niya ang meta-paradigm na health. No? And nursing for Betty Newman, intervening to reduce, yung nursing daw is to intervene to reduce stress and maintain system stability. Okay, yun din yung function natin ng mga nurses, ma-reduce ang stress and ma-maintain ang system stability. Ano ba yung mga system na yun? Again, your physiological, psychological, sociocultural, developmental, and spiritual components. So the nursing aims to help individuals maintain their stability and optimal wellness by managing the effects of stressors through prevention and intervention. So ano daw ba yung mga environment na yon? Na binabanggit ni Betty Newman, the internal environment, so that is within the client, which is the feelings and the functions of the organs. External environment naman are those outside factors of the body of the patient as yung family, yung kanyang work. Okay, and then meron pang nadagdag is yung created environment na ano ba yung created environment? Ito naman yung tumutukoy sa spiritual beliefs and values ng patient. Okay? So, lakihan natin yung picture para mas makita ninyo, no? So, ayan po yung ang systems model ni Betty Newman. So, yung client system, that is a composite of physiological, psychological, sociocultural, developmental, and spiritual values. That is the client system. And then meron siyang line of defense. That is the flexible defense, which includes the flexible defense, which protects the normal line of defense, dynamic and react to stress. So, yun yung binabanggit na flexible defense. Yan. And then, second one is your normal line of defense. That is the client's usual wellness level. So, ibig sabihin parang hanggang dyan, sa part po na yan, kumbaga parang ito yung parang ceiling. Hanggang dito, well pa yung patient natin. No? Yung nasa may flexible line of defense, ito pa yung parang, kumbaga nakaka-adapt pa yung pasyente. Kumbaga na-separate pa niya kumbaga meron pa siyang solution sa mga problems sa may flexible line of defense. Sa normal line of defense, no, hanggang doon sa level na yon is kumbaga well pa yung patient, hindi pa siya nati-trigger ng stressor. Okay, hindi pa nakaka-penetrate within sa kanyang psychological being o sa kanyang pag-iisip, no? And then lines of resistance, so activated when the stressors penetrate the defense to restore stability. So ibig sabihin po, once na ikaw ay na-trigger na ng stress, nagkakaroon na ng line of resistance. Ito na yung parang, hoops, hanggang sagad na ako, dito na ako. Huwag mo na muna akong kausapin. 'Di ba? Kasi sasabog ako. Para ma-maintain yung stability. Ganun po siya na. You have your flexible line of defense, kaya ka pa niyang i-tolerate, kaya pa niyang mag-adjust and everything. Then yung normal line of defense, ito yung pinoprotektahan ni flexible line of defense, no? Na hindi ma-penetrate yung normal line of, layer yan kung i-imagine ninyo. And then yung line of resistance, kumbaga sa tiyan, ito yung omentum o ito yung viscera, ito na yung nakakover sa mga organ, no? So, kumbaga siya yung parang na-activate once na na-penetrate niya na yung inner aspect ng isang tao. Okay? And then, stressors. Ano ba ang stressors? So, factors causing the tension and disruptions. No? It can be intrapersonal, so within the individual, which is yung illness. Interpersonal, between individuals, family conflict, diba? Or extrapersonal, ano? So, siya ay maaring outside the individual, as yung kanyang job na nawala, diba? So, yun yung mga different na stressors, okay? You have the intra, the inter, and the extra personal. So, yun yung target ni stressor, makapasok dito sa line of defense. Ano? Para para ma-stress niya yon tao, para mag-cause ng sakit. Ano? So, ngayon, saan daw tayo mag-play ng role, 'di ba? Yun ay ma-prevent na pumasok ang stress sa patient. Through what? Our prevention as intervention. So paano 'yun? Yung primary prevention daw natin, that is before the stressor na mangyari. Okay? So we need to enhance the resilience ng ating patient, no? And then secondary is yung after na makapasok na nung stressor. Ano? And then yung tertiary is the after the treatment to prevent further issues. So in short daw, tayong mga nurses, papasok tayo sa life ng patient or i-care natin yung patient bago pa bago pa tuluyan na ma-stress ang patient, during na-stress ang patient, and then after, ayan na, no, after na ma-stress ng patient, bago pa siya lumala further, ano? So magpe-play daw tayo ng role doon, tayong mga nurses. That is the systems model, no? So in short, may layer na gustong i-penetrate ng stressors, tayo naman i-prevent natin na makapasok yung stressor doon sa line of defense, no? Or doon sa system, ma-intrude niya yung gitna. So na example niyan, identifying and managing the work stress affecting a nurse's health. Ano? So, identifying and managing work stress affecting a nurse's health. So, meaning daw, i-apply naman natin sa ating pagiging nurse, di ba? So, sabi dyan, yung nurse din daw, meron din daw pong systems model aside sa ating mga pasyente na, di ba, kumbaga sa work, di ba? Pag ikaw ay maraming stressors, like yung ang daming ginagawa, o kaya naman iniisip mo yung family mo sa bahay na may sakit, di ba? Hindi natin siya hayaang makapasok, maka-enter into our conscious mind, no? Kasi pag nakapasok siya sa conscious mind mo, magkakaroon na ng stress. Ano? Or if maka-penetrate man doon, yun na yung papasok tayo na yung secondary prevention. Ano? Which is after na ng stress. Ano ba yung dapat natin ibigay sa pasyente? 'Di ba? After niyang ma-stress. Stress na yung pasyente, dinagdagan mo pa. 'Di ba? Pag primary intervention naman or prevention, before pa pumasok yung stress, foreseeable crisis pa lang siya, dapat andun na tayo. Ano, kumbaga hindi na natin hayaang makapasok pa. And then yung last mo na intervention, which is your tertiary, 'di ba? Na stress na siya, hindi na natin siya hayaan pa madagdagan pa ng stress or additional stress. Okay? So, ganun po ang systems model ni Betty Newman. Focus on stressors and the prevention ng stressor. Okay? So, next, we have your next theory, si Martha Rogers, Science of Unitary Human Being. So, humans as energy fields, holistic and abstract approach. So, ang person for Martha Rogers is a unified energy field with its own pattern. Own pattern. Okay? Environment, an irreducible energy field, integral. Okay? With the person. Ibig sabihin, integral, nakasama na. Sa person. And then, ang health for for Martha Rogers, ay value-laden expression of life, value, may halaga, yung about life. Then nursing is a science and art directed toward promoting harmony. Okay? So kasi nga mayroong siyang sariling field, energy field. Okay? So nursing is a humanistic science that focuses on understanding the person as a whole, ano, whole energy field in a constant interaction with the environment, okay, which is also an energy field. The goal is to promote harmonious interaction and well-being, which is the health. No? Humans and environments are integral with each other. No? Itong dalawa na to. So you cannot separate them, which is true naman, di ba? Change is continuous and unpredictable. So, driven by the energy fields. So, yung pagbabago, depende yan kung ano yung nasa environment. Depende yan kung sino yung tao. Diba? And then, nurses facilitate pattern recognition and promoting harmonious interaction for healing. Like, for example, madalas na, kunwari, nadidepress ang iyong patient, sa tuwing may malalaman na result, na lab test, 'di ba? O kaya if alam niyang may hinihintay na lab result, lagi nadidepress, 'di ba? So since ikaw, 'di ba, sabi diyan, nurses facilitate pattern recognition. Napapansin mo na sa tuwing yung patient mo ay nade-depress tuwing may hinihintay na result, 'di ba? So paano mo daw mapopromote ang healing, 'di ba? Pwedeng-pwede mong i-health educate yung patient, 'di ba? Or pwede mong i-interrupt yung pattern niya, 'di ba? Para makatulong ka ma-achieve ang health ng patient, no? And then it focuses on wholeness, unity, and the evolving nature of humans. Okay? So anong example ng ating kay Martha Rogers? So using therapeutic touch, no? And calming music for cancer patients. So, ginamit niya yung environment niya, yung calm music, 'di ba? Sa pag-treat sa pasyente. Okay, ganun daw po ang science of unitary human beings. So yung nursing is an art and science directed toward promoting the harmony, okay, of the patient, no, by using the environment, no, kasi environment is also known as hindi man also known as yung environment is also an energy field. Okay, so you use kung ano yung available na resources, baka kasi yan yung energy field na that can help yung patient to improve. Okay, so next, yung kay Rosemary Pars, no? So the human becoming theory. So humans co-create health through personal meaning and choices. So a person is a unique person who chooses and bears responsibility. Okay? Chooses and bears responsibility. An environment is inseparable from the person, co-created through lived experiences. Inseparable siya. O parang si Kwan lang din to. Si Rogers, di ba? So ngayon, ang health for PARS, a process of becoming, unfolding meaning in life. Now, process of becoming and unfolding meaning in life. And nursing for Rosemary Pars is a presence that enables patients to make life choices. So, meaning involved din daw po ang nursing o nurses sa ating, kumbaga, yung nag-enable na, kumbaga, para mas ma-improve yung pagpili o mag-improve yung decision making ng ating patient. So, nursing is a human experience and helping individuals co-create their own meaning and quality of life. Kasi baka mamaya, di ba yung iba, pagka halimbawa naisip na meron silang sakit na malala, anong naisip nila? End na ng life. Pero papasok ngayon ang nurses, di ba yung nurses, pwede na sabihin na there are different treatments, there are different modalities na gagawin para matreat yung sakit ng patient. So health is defined by individuals, personal interpretation and experience, no? Kaya minsan pagkakulang sila nakakausap, yung set of thinking na lang nila, yung naiisip nila, wala nang ibang view. Kaya mahalaga na papasok doon ang nurse, no? So, an example for that, ay naipakita ko muna sa inyo yung theory niya. Ano, yan, medyo malabo, no? Pero medyo kita naman yung human becoming niya, no? And then yung valuing, yan. So, yan yung concept niya, the human becoming, the quality of life, the meaning, the rhythmicity, and the transcendence. No? Pag sinabing human becoming, humans are constantly evolving and co-creating their reality through choices and experiences. Ano? Yan. So ano ba yung mga nakaka-affect doon is yung quality of life that is subjective and defined by the person's own values and meaning. Okay, and how about the meaning? Ayan, yung meaning. Ano yung meaning? So that is created, yeah, created through individual perceptions of situations and events. And then rhythmicity, it is life is a continuous process of movement, change, and pattern. Okay? Transcendence. Ano? So, going beyond current limitations and moving towards personal growth. So, meaning daw, itong tatlo na ito, the meaning, the rhythmicity, and transcendence, have a direct effect sa human becoming. Okay, yung perception ng individual about life, about the situation, 'di ba? Yung pagche-change ng environment, no? Yung pattern ng pagbabago sa mundo, like that, no? And then transcendence. So kumbaga yung gustong mag-go sa current limitations and moving na gusto niyang mag-change, gusto na niyang mag-grow, 'di ba? So, yan po part po yan ng human becoming. No? Kumbaga parang human becoming, yung ikaw, kung anong magiging ikaw, ay because of the meaning, rhythmicity, and transcendence. Okay? So ngayon, saan papasok ang nurse dyan? So we need to be involved doon sa pag-interpret ng ating patient. Diba? So kaya nga sinabi dyan, 'di ba? Ano sabi sa ibig sabihin nung theory ni ni Rosemary Pars, nursing is about human experience and helping individuals co-create their own meaning of quality of life, no? So meaning tayong mga nurses, dapat i-educate natin yung patient, no? Sa pag-i-interpret ng nangyayari sa environment. Kasi sometimes iba yung interpretation ng mga lay people versus sa ating mga nasa healthcare field. Okay? Ano example niyan? Listening deeply to a patient facing terminal illness without judgment. O, di ba? Ito sinasabi ko sa inyo, kailangan pakinggan natin ang ating mga pasyente. Ano? Kasi baka naiba na ang kanilang interpretation. Okay? Next. Our next theory is Madeline Leininger. So that is the culture care theory. So importance of cultural competence in nursing care. Cultural competence. So meaning, di ba lahat naman tayo galing tayo sa iba't ibang bayan, iba't ibang bahay, iba't ibang barangay. So may kanya-kanya tayong kultura. So kailangan daw yun, inaaral din daw yun ng mga nurses, no? So that is a cultural care theory. Ang person for Leininger is cultural being with unique values, beliefs, and practices. By the word itself, unique. Ang person daw ay unique sa kanyang culture. Then environment, cultural background, and societal factors. So meaning daw yung culture na apektuhan po ng environment niya through yung background ng environment and also yung mga societal factors, 'di ba? Like for example, lumaki sa mga squatter o lumaki sa area na puro yaman, 'di ba? So ano ang health sa kanya? Culturally defined well-being. So meaning ang health po depended sa kung ano yung kultura. Ano? So, no, so for example, nakakain ka 3 times a day, for them healthy na 'yon. 'Di ba? Meron naman yung kailangan may snacks in between. O healthy na sa kanila 'yon. So, then nursing, providing culturally congruent care. So, meaning tayo naman daw as mga nurses, no, regardless of their culture, we need to treat the patient equally. Wala kang itatratong special. Okay, di ba ganoon naman tayong mga nurses dapat, no? So, nursing care must culturally congruent. So, meaning, it should be in harmony with the patient's, cultural, life values, and then beliefs and practices. So meaning yung care na binibigay natin is same sa lahat pero nakamatch siya dapat sa culture niya. Like for example, we need to respect yung, di ba, yung pagkain ng pasyenteng Christian sa pagkain ng isang Muslim. 'Di ba? Kailangan halal siya. Sa Christian naman kahit ano pwedeng kainin. Pero depende again sa religion, 'di ba? So, understanding and respecting cultural differences improves health outcomes and patient satisfaction. Kasi baka mamaya pag hindi mo nire-respect ang kanilang paniniwala, no, sa kanilang kultura, mahirapan kang i-treat ang patient. Okay? So, this is the modes of nursing actions based on the patient's culture. Okay? You have the culture care, persevere, maintenance, and then you have your culture care accommodation or negotiation, and then you have your culture care repatterning or restructuring. Okay? Okay, the once we say na culture, ano, culture care preservation or maintenance. So it support practices that promote health, no, like encouraging traditional diets, no, for if healthy, ano, and then culture care accommodation or negotiation. So it help adapt or adjust healthcare in a way that respects cultural beliefs. No, for example, negotiating medication time during fasting periods. 'Di ba? So, doon daw tayo papasok uli, 'di ba? For example, naka-fasting pero kailangan niya uminom ng gamot, 'di ba? Naka-fasting because yung paniniwala sa kanilang religion, 'di ba? And then culture care restructuring, so help modify harmful cultural practices while respecting values. Like for example, teaching safer alternatives to unsafe traditional healing practices. Di ba? For example, may sugat, tapos ang ginagawa di ba nung iba, may dahon, duduraan, tapos ipapahid doon sa may sugat, no? So, kailangan daw tayo i-restructure natin, i-change natin yung mga wrong cultures or wrong beliefs na nagagawa nila. Ano? So, Lininger developed the sunrise model. Ayan, kung makita ninyo sa picture, no, the sunrise model. So, to visualize all factors influencing culture care. So, meaning yung nakaka-affect sa ating pag-treat sa patient, no? Because of their culture, like yung technological, religious and philosophical, kingship and social, and then your cultural values and life ways, political and legal, economic, and your educational factors. So all of this impact how care should be provided. So kaya 'di ba pag kami mga pasyente tayo, 'di ba di naman natin minamaliit yung mga patient, but we need to assess if hanggang saan yung level ng kanilang understanding so that we can adapt if what we should tell them or what we should teach them. 'Di ba? So, hindi po pwedeng yung for example, we want to give care to all. Yes, totoo naman equal, may bibigay tayo ng care to all, but on how we approach yung each patient natin, doon na tayo magbabase sa culture ng pasyente, di ba? Even during blood transfusion, kino-consider mo if siya ba ay ito yung case, so bawal siyang matransfusan kasi sa kanilang culture bawal 'yun, 'di ba? So, makikipag-negotiate ka kasi it's either yung benefit na matransfusan or yung ire-respect yung kanilang values, 'di ba, or culture. Okay? So, anong example niyan? Respecting a patient's dietary customs during hospitalization, like yung binigay ko nga sa inyo example kanina, sa mga Muslims, kailangan 'di ba halal yung food, hindi po pwedeng yung kung ano na lang mai-offer ninyo. 'Di ba? So, next, Hildegard Peplau. So, the interpersonal relations, so nurse-patient relationship and therapeutic communication. So, a person is a developing person with needs, no? And then environment for Peplau, existing forces outside the person and in the nurse-patient relationship. Ano ang health for Peplau? Forward movement of personality. Okay? Ano ang nursing for Peplau? It is a therapeutic interpersonal process between nurse and patient. Interpersonal. Na process between the nurse and then the patient. So nursing is a therapeutic interpersonal process that helps individuals grow, heal, and cope by building a trust-based relationship. So kay Peplao, kailangan may trust sa relationship. So between the nurse and the patient. So Peplao viewed nursing as more than just physical care. No, it's about communication, understanding, and collaboration. Okay? So next, these are the phases of the interpersonal relation. Diba? According to Weblaw, you have your orientation, identification, exploitation, and resolution. Orientation, the patient seeks help and the nurse works to build trust and define the problem. Okay? And then identification, the patient begins to respond to the nurse and identifies with those who can help. Diba? And then exploitation. So the patient takes full advantage of the nurse to patient relationship to meet their needs. So in short, this is the working phase. Diba? Working phase. No, and then the resolution phase, that is the patient's needs are met and then the relationship ends as independence is achieved. So ngayon, ang goal mo rito sa resolution is independence. So meaning, kaya na ni patient gumawa na mag-isa. Okay? So, an example niyan, building a trust with a psychiatric patient through therapeutic communication. Okay? So, kailangan makuha mo yung loob ng patient para magbigay siya sa iyo ng trust, magbigay siya ng information na makakatulong sa kanyang healing. Kaya sabi niya na forward movement of personality. Okay, para mag-change yung, kumbaga parang from nag-guard yung patient up to mag-open up yung patient sa'yo, then through communication, matitreat natin yung patient. Di ba kahirap ng patient na hindi nagsasabi ng kanyang tunay na nararamdaman. Yung iba yung sinasabi niya during nung nag-round yung doctor versus nung tinanong mo siya before nag-round yung doctor. Alright? So mahalaga ang ating interpersonal relations. Next, Nola Pender. Okay, the health promotion model. So it focused on health promoting behaviors and lifestyle promotion, lifestyle changes. Okay? So, ang person for Nola Pender, an individual who actively regulates behavior. Okay? And ang environment sa kanya, interpersonal and physical environments. And health is a positive, dynamic state of well-being. Once we say dynamic, constantly nang change. Nursing, helping people engage in healthy behaviors. Okay? So the health promotion model explains and predicts why people engage in health promoting behaviors. So it emphasizes that people are active participants in their own health, not just passive recipients of care. Okay? So the model helps nurses encourage behavior change by addressing personal experiences, beliefs, and social influences. So, ano ba ang mga behavioral outcome niyan? The individual commits to a plan of action and engages in the behavior if, in short, i-change daw ng isang tao ang kanyang behavior if yung self-efficacy is high or the barriers are low. Okay? Kung yung kakayanan niya mataas, change mo daw yung behavior. Pero pag may mga barrier, 'di ba? Like for example, sabi mo, kailangan kumain 3 times a day, ang sweldo mo, ay ang sweldo nila, magkano lang? 'Di ba? So paano mo magkakaroon ng magiging healthy yung buhay ng isang pasyente if may barrier, hindi enough yung kanilang pera, 'di ba? To support yung gusto mong change ng behavior. And then support and positive feelings. Support and positive feelings. No, kailangan daw yung tatlo na yan meron para makapag-promote ka ng health o ma-change mo yung behavior ng tao. If any daw dyan sa tatlo na yan ay kulang, hindi mo daw ma-change, which is totoo naman, di ba? Kahit sabihin natin, kumain ka ng healthy foods, di ba ang mahal ng foods ngayon, di ba? Lalo mga healthy, mas mura pa nga yung mga bad na mga foods, di ba? So, paano mo siya magagamit ngayon, di ba? So ngayon, pwede kang gumawa ng alternatives, 'di ba? Like for example, kung mahal yung gulay, pwede naman sabihin mong yung munggo, o 'di ba pag niluto yung maramihan, 'di ba? So ano pa, mura siya pero marami. Like yung mga foods like mga upong ginisa, o 'di ba? Kokonti ay mura lang siya, like for example, 30 pesos pero marami nakakakain unlike sa karne, 'di ba? Manok, 'di ba? Magkano presyo nun pero konti makakakain. So gano'n po ang kay Nola Pender 'no, kailangan may yung self-efficacy niya ay mataas, yung barriers are low, yung support yung support and yung positive feeling kailangan present. Mismong yung pasyente gusto niyang mag-change yung kanyang behavior. So ano example niyan? Creating a fitness program for teens to prevent obesity. O, di ba? Pag may yung efficacy niya mataas, yung literacy niya talagang, ay oo nga, kailangan ko magpapayat kasi maraming health problems na madidevelop and everything. Oh, 'di ba? So, ano ang barriers lang niya? 'Di ba, yung time, baka mamaya wala siyang oras, 'di ba? So, wala siyang fund, o 'di ba, puwede mo naman patakbuhin na lang sa isang park, 'di ba? Or magbigay ka ng homework exercises, 'di ba? So, yun, and then yung positive na kanyang outlook sa buhay, kailangan present, So, gano'n po ang kay Nola Pender. Next, kay Rosano Locsin. So technology and caring are not opposites, no? Not opposites. They are partners in knowing and caring for persons in nursing. Okay? So ang person for Locsin is dynamic and complex, no? Dynamic, nagbabago-bago, complex, marami siyang sanghay, systems, and continuously evolving. So ang environment for Locsin is the setting or context in which both the technology and care occur, like yun sa mga hospitals, di ba? Health. So individuals live experiences or experience supported by caring and technological competence. So meaning daw po, yung pasyente na-achieve niya yung health niya through the use of technology. So, nai-improve niya yung kanyang kalagayan because of the use of technology. And nursing is the use of technology as a tool to know the patient more completely. So, ngayon daw, hindi na daw natin kaaway ang technology sa nursing profession kasi nga, di ba, sinasabi, nursing is a caring profession. So, therefore, parang may touch, may love, and everything. But right now, sinasabi ni Locsin, i-involve natin ang technology kasi pinapadali niya ang buhay natin sa pagkikare sa patient. So rather than seeing the technology as cold or dehumanizing, so Siloxin argues that using technology competently is a form of caring. Because it enhances the nurse's ability to know the patient deeply and respond to their needs effectively. Just like, di ba, yung sa iyong, for example, cardiac monitor, di ba, your central monitor, kita mo lahat yung vital signs ng patient, and then by that, you know how to address yung concerns niya. Okay? So, ano example niyan? A nurse in the ICU skillfully interprets the cardiac monitor readings to detect early signs of arrhythmia. O, di ba? So, next, diba? The practice level theory, si Patricia Benner, alam ko most of you, ang dalas na ginamit to sa mga thesis, no? So, yung from novice to expert theory. So, nurses develop skills and understanding over time through the experience, education, and reflection. So, according to Benner, a person is a being who is self-interpreting and defined by experiences. An environment is a situational context that influences care. So kahit saan naman, basta environment, it affects the health ng ating mga tao, or it affects how we respond. No? Kung hindi man siya health, di ba? If how we respond sa situation. And then health is viewed in terms of being rather than health state. So viewed in terms of being, kung sino siya. Kumbaga hindi focus yung health, but kung sino siya, yung kaalaman niya. Nursing is a caring relationship and skill development over time. Over time, it involves time. No, in short, pag-graduate mo, hindi ka pa ganun kagaling. Hindi mo kayang pantayan yung mga nurses na may previous na experience like 10 years, 5 years, 15 years. Hindi mo agad yung kayang pantayan kasi they learn their knowledge and skills through their experience, not just sa school, no, not just sa nursing school, but also sa kanilang experience, no. So Benner applied the Dreyfus model of acquisition, no, Dreyfus model of skill acquisition. Okay? So to nursing, proposing that nurses develop skills and understanding over time through experience, education, and reflection. So moving through 5 levels of proficiency, which is your, ano na nga, the novice, advanced beginner, competent, proficient, and your expert. So i-discuss natin isa-isa. Buburahin ko to . Okay. So we have the novice. Pag sinabing novice, they are the beginner with no experience. So they are, yung rules sa nila ay rigid pa. Hindi pa sila flexible. Not flexible. Okay? Not flexible. Pag advanced beginner, has some clinical experience. Meron ng clinical experience. They can recognize recurring situation. Recurring situation. So, ibig sabihin, pag paulit-ulit na sitwasyon, alam na ng advanced beginner ang gagawin. Okay? Sa novice, hindi pa. Basta ang alam ko lang ganito. Ganun ang novice. Sa advanced beginner, pag paulit-ulit na, alam niya na yung ginagawa. Then next, competent. Ang competent naman can recognize and prioritize care. So meaning alam na niya kung ano ang uunahin. More efficient but lacks speed. And flexibility of more experienced nurses. So kumbaga, flexible na rin siya pero hindi siya kasing flexible ng mga experienced na nurses. So organized to. Organized and prioritize care. Kaya na niya. Okay? So next, yung proficient. Sees situation holistically. So nakikita na niya yung buong sitwasyon. So kumbaga alam niya na yung mangyayari. Uses intuition more. Intuition. Pagka naman ikaw ay proficient. So, and then can adapt care to changing situation with less effort. Ano? Kumbaga parang yung 1 hour sa'yo, sa kanya, 2 minutes lang. Okay, kasi kaya niyang gawin. Now, then your expert. Yung expert naman has deep experience and intuitive grasp. So no longer relies on rules. So in short, pag expert ka na, binabase mo na siya depende sa iyong judgment. Ano? Depende sa kung ano ang iyong mga na-experience. They are highly skilled in recognizing problems and solutions quickly and accurately. Okay? So dito, alam niyo na yung mangyayari on the current situation. Pag expert ka, alam mo na yung maaaring mangyari if ito yung gagawin mong desisyon. Okay? Meron ka na ring plan A, plan B, plan C, and plan D. Swift mo, no? So madali kang mag-shift. Yung plan yun ang fail. O, di B na ako. Ganun ang expert. So ano example niyan? Ito, the staff nurse learning managerial task, 'di ba? So from the competent, magshi-shift siya papunta ng proficient. Kasi it requires ng experience bago ka maging manager, no? So sa iyong novice, 'di ba? Kailan ba siya na experience kailan ba yan na experience, no? So basta pag graduate ka ng nursing o during your nursing, novice na ang tawag sa iyo, 'di ba? Pag advanced beginner, pag nai-immerse ka na sa may duty, ang competent, it will require you at least 2 to 3 years in experience pag competent. Now, pag proficient naman is what? Longer years. More than 3 years ang requirement sa proficient and expert, 'di ba? Kaya nga sinasabi nila, experience is the best teacher. Okay? So, kuha po ba? Okay? Okay, so we're done with the nursing theories. So we will now move on with our developmental theories, no? As you can remember, ito yung nasa may PowerPoint yung orientation sa inyo, the developmental theories na which can help you address health issues or health concerns ng ating mga pasyente, no? Para properly may address natin o mabigay natin ng appropriate care for them. So we have your cognitive developmental theories, psychosocial and emotional, psychosexual and behavioral, moral and attachment, and emotional bonding theories, no? So i-discuss natin yan isa-isa so that maintindihan nyo, no? So I shortened it, I summarized it for you to understand, no? And how will you use it sa ating nursing practice, okay? So number 1 is yung kay Jean Piaget, okay? Nakita nyo naman, no? May color coding siya kung saan siya naka-under, okay? So, cognitive development theory, yung kay Jean Piaget. So, it explains how the children actively construct knowledge as they grow and interact with their environment. So, that is a cognitive development theory. So, there are stages in the development or the cognitive development theory. So, sabi dyan, it explains how yung children actively construct knowledge as they grow and interact with the environment. Okay? So, may stages dyan. We have the sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and your formal operational. So, once we say sensory motor, this is from birth to 2 years old. So, the child learns through senses and actions, no? They develop object permanence. So, learns through senses and action. No? May 4 na picture dyan. As you can see naman, no? You have your sensory motor, no? Birth to years old. Ano? So learns through senses and action. So pag may pain, o 'di ba iiyak siya, 'di ba? So lahat ng pain na mararamdaman niya, iiyak niya. Okay? And then next, pre-operational, 2 to 7 years old. 2 to 7 years old. So begins using language and imagination. They are egocentric thinking and lacks logic pa. Ano? So it begins using languages and imagination. Okay? So for example, nakakita ng ringgilya, 'di ba? Kahit naman hindi sa kanila isasaksak, pero since nakita nila yung ringgilya dahil may prior silang experience, 'di ba? Na-imagine na nila na sasaksakan sila uli, 'di ba? Ito yung mga toddler, 'di ba, pagka nakita ng white, 'di ba nagkakaroon na sila, nag-stereotype na sila na lahat ng naka-white ay sasaktan sila, 'di ba? Kasi if may prior, naka-experience sila ng ah, pain during the isang check-up, 'di ba? And then next is concrete operational. So this is 7 to 11 years old. So they have logical thinking about concrete events. Ano, kaya siya concrete operational. And understands conservation and reversibility. Ano? So meaning ngayon, alam na nila, halimbawa sasaksakan mo sila ng bakuna. Alam nila na temporary lang yung pain. Pag nabigay mo, later on mawawala na siya. 'Di ba? So ganun po ang concrete operational. Pag sinabi naman formal operational, so that is 12 years old and above, so abstract and hypothetical thinking na sila. Can reason logically and form theories. So meaning, alam na natin, since hanggang edad natin ngayon, tayo ay nasa may part na ng formal operational, na masakit siya, pero alam din natin temporary siya, and alam natin na yung sinaksak sa atin ay magbe-benefit tayo. Ano? Ganun po ang formal operational. Okay? Kuha po ba? So application natin yan, i-try natin i-apply sa ating nursing practice through pediatric nursing education, so you can tailor communication and education to a child's cognitive level. So kung nasa sensory motor ba siya, pre-operational, concrete, and formal, so alam mo yung approach na gagawin. Then next is health education. Use the age appropriate strategies for teaching the children about procedures, medications, and health habits. 'Di ba? So ibabase natin kung paano natin instruct inom ng gamot, 'di ba? Napakahirap pa inumin ng mga pedya, ng mga gamot, 'di ba? Andiyan gagawin mong parang juice, 'di ba? Andiyan gagawin mong parang itatagay mo pa kunwari para kunwari si tatay, 'di ba? And then developmental assessment, so you monitor the children whether siya ba ay nami-meet niya yung expected cognitive milestone. Kasi baka mamaya andito ka na 12 years old and up, 'di ba? Baka mamaya ang reaction mo pa rin ay kala mo kang nasa pre-operational. So let's check that baka nagkakaroon ng developmental delays. Okay? Okay, so our next topic is about the theory of Lev Vygotsky, which is the sociocultural theory. So ano ba sinasabi niya rito? So sabi, yung child daw is shaped by a social, cultural, and language-based interaction. So it emphasized that the social interaction and cultural context are fundamentals to a child's cognitive development. No? So meaning, yung social and cultural are part daw po ng child's cognitive development. So unlike daw po yung kay Jean Piaget na ang focus ni Jean Piaget daw po is individual discovery. In short, based on the experience yung kay Jean Piaget, kaya nade-develop ang isang tao. Dito naman kay Vygotsky po, ang focus niya is what? Yung social and cultural aspect ay nakaka-affect sa cognitive development ng isang bata. Yung na-experience niya. In short, kumbaga parang na-experience niya through others. Kumbaga, hindi niya dinidiscover, may ibang na nagpapadiscover sa kanya or may ibang nagtuturo sa kanya. Okay? So, anong concept niya? The concept of zone of proximal development and then scaffolding and language and thought. So, ano ibig sabihin po niyan? Yung zone of proximal development or the ZPD, ano ibig sabihin niyan? The difference between a child can do alone and what they can do with help from the others like yung adult o kaya yung kanilang mga ano basta yung mas matanda sa kanila, kung ano yung matututunan nila doon. And then next is for your scaffolding. So support given by a more knowledgeable other to help the child perform a task they cannot yet do independently. For example, yung nurse, di ba? So hindi pa nila alam kung paano gamitin tong device na ito, di ba? So they will ask, di ba, ang help or the nurse will offer help doon sa bata para matutunan niyang gamitin. And then language and thought is the foundation. So language is the foundation of thought. So in short, para maintindihan, kailangan may language. Diba? Then children learn and internalize knowledge through language and dialogue. So the more daw natin na tinuturuan ang isang bata, mas nadidevelop ang kanilang socio-cultural na aspect. So lalo daw silang nadidevelop ang kanilang socio-cultural. So ibig sabihin po, tayong mga nurses or nakakatanda sa mga bata, we need to teach them, no? Although Jean Piaget sinasabi niya na nadidiscover naman yan ng mga bata, 'di ba? So kumbaga through their experience. However, pwede naman natin yan na ituro na tayong mga older adult or tayong mga nurses na mas may alam, 'di ba, sa healthcare field sa mga bata. So it affects daw yung kanilang development also if paano tayo magtuturo. Kaya nga 'di ba, yung mga bata sometimes pag kaloko-loko yung family, 'di ba, pag tinuturuan nung kuya, ng kapatid, 'di ba mas madaling na develop yung mga bata na gawin yung tinuturo nila. Kasi yun yung nakikita nilang tama. No? So, in perspective of nursing, di ba, sa pagbibigay ng gamot, just like that, no, yung sa picture, so we can utilize the sociocultural theory na through us pala nadidevelop din yung bata, no, while naka-confine, o ito yung tamang pag-inom ng gamot, kailangan susunod ka sa tamang oras ng inom ng gamot, dapat mong inumin yung gamot, di ba? So, ganun po ang ating sociocultural theory. Next, your Eric Erikson psychosocial development theory, psychosocial. So it describes how individuals grow and develop throughout their lifespan. Grow and develop. So from infancy to old age. So alam niyo naman ito yung trust versus mistrust, 'di ba? Something like that. No? So ano ba sinasabi diyan sa trust and versus mistrust? So kailan yan start from birth to ano, birth to 1 year old. So, anong kanila dyan, anong conflict nila pag hindi yan na-develop? 'Di ba? So, can I trust the world? So, kumbaga parang hindi nila lang ma-distinguish yung trust and versus mistrust. 'Di ba? So, pwede dyan, 'di ba, ma-develop yung trust in the caregivers and the world or pwede siya magkaroon ng fear and suspicion or insecurity. 'Di ba? So ngayon naman pagka naman autonomy versus shame and doubt. So that is 1 year old to 3 years old. Okay, so anong nadidevelop dyan? Yung confidence and independence or shame, doubt, inability. So ang nadidevelop sa kanya ay confidence and independence or pwedeng shame, doubt, inability. So in short, kumbaga, eto mga stages ni Eric Erikson, depende siya sa kung ano yung may experience nung bata. So kung ano yung magiging mas matimbang kung siya ba ay trust versus mistrust. So at through sa pag na-develop yung mistrust, 'di ba? So yan yung magiging duda 'di ba? Yung lagi nagdududa sa lahat ng mga gagawin kasi mas na-develop during the birth and 1 year old yung mistrust kesa yung trust. 'Di ba? So same as with autonomy, shame and doubt. So mas na-develop yung shame and doubt. So kumbaga nung bata siya, puro nahihiya siya mag-perform. So kumbaga parang hindi niya nailalabas yung kanyang confidence, no, and independence, no? So ganun po yung pag-interpret sa stages niya, no, yung sa ating developmental milestone. And then initiative versus guilt. So that is 3 years old to 6 years old. So diyan nade-develop yung kanyang initiative and leadership or guilt, fear of punishment, which is the inferiority. Ano kaya po sometimes makikita ninyo may mga bata na yung parang lagi may initiative, laging siya nauuna, 'di ba? Meron naman yung mga ay sorry, hindi 'to nabilugan ko. Meron naman yung mga bata na mahiyain, 'di ba? Meron yung mga bata na ayaw, ano kasi baka magkamali, 'di ba? Or baka parusahan kasi yung na-experience sa bahay na pagka nakabasag ng plato, pinapalo, pinapatayo sa may dingding, 'di ba? So, yun po yung halaga ng stages ni Eric Erikson, no? And then, industry versus inferiority. So, that is 6 to 12 years old. Now, 6 to 12 years old. So, ang nade-develop naman diyan is competence and work ethic, and then inferiority and lack of motivation, yung parang nagpapaawa lagi, no? So laging siya yung left behind ang dating, ano? So maaari diyan na maging problem niya yung who am I? So ay no, no, hindi 'yon. Yung can I accomplish things? So kumbaga parang ano, meron bang worth yung gagawin ko? Kaya ko ba 'to, 'di ba? So pinapakanta ka, hindi ka makakanta, ano? So sa maraming tao, no, something like that, no? And then next is identity versus role confusion. So this is at the age of what? 12 to 18 years old. Okay, 12 to 18 years old. So ang nade-develop naman diyan ay yung strong sense of identity. So kilala niya yung sarili niya. Or puwedeng magkakaroon ng confusion or instability. So sabi nga nila, dito daw lumalabas if ano yung true gender mo, ano, or kung ano man yung iyong sexual preference, ano. So 'di ba diyan nga daw kasi diyan yung age na nagkakaroon kayo ng friends. So 'di ba usually pag 12 to 18 years old, ang nade-develop diyan 'pag male ka sasama ka sa kapwa mo male, pero 'pag female ka sasama ka naman sa kapwa mo female, 'di ba? So, then nagkakaroon ka ng opposite na attraction sa opposite sex, no? So, nagkakaroon ka ng attraction sa opposite sex, no? So, diyan na de-develop 'yun, no? So, however, if hindi 'yan matatagpos or hindi 'yan ma-differentiate ng bata, so nagkakaroon siya ng role confusion. So, hindi niya alam if siya ba ay lalaki or siya ba ay babae or katawang lalaki siya pero babae ang kanyang feelings. Same as with babae na babae katawan niya pero lalaki ang feelings. Ano? And then intimacy versus isolation, that is 18 to 40 years old, 'di ba? So ano na de-develop diyan is the deep relationships, commitment or maaring isolation or loneliness. Ano, yung kumbaga walang partner, walang kasama sa buhay, something like that, no? Diyan yung nagkakaroon na ng relationship. Ano yun, magkakaroon kayo ng mga partners. Okay? So, if hindi yan ma-resolve, is pwede siyang mapaisip na ako ba ay capable for a loving relationship? Kaya ko ba? Or ako ay pang solohan lang? Okay, diyan yung minsan yung tumatanda na ng dalaga at binata, 'no? Kasi bigla nilang madi-discover, "Ay, I am more comfortable from being alone than being may kasama." Okay. Then next is generativity versus stagnation. This is 40 years old to 65 years old. So, that ang made-develop nila is productivity and purpose or stagnation and unproductiveness. So, at the age na yan, di ba, Kasi ang mga productive age right now is 20 years old to 30 plus years old. Ano? So pag dumating daw ng 40 to 60 years old, parang napapaisip na, am I still productive? Ako ba ay sa edad ko na ito? Ako ba ay, 'di ba kaya nga sometimes yung mga iba gusto lumipat ng trabaho pero hindi makalipat ng work kasi nga iniisip nila ay yung edad ko masyado nang matanda, hindi na ako tatanggapin sa ibang trabaho. O, 'di ba? So nagkakaroon na sila ng stagnation. 'Di ba? So, 'yun makikita niyo rin 'yun sa different na mga tao 'no, yung the way they decide, 'di ba? Kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo maganda ang psychology 'no, yung behavioral. Ano, makikita mo if asang part na sila ng life nila 'no. And then next is integrity versus despair. So this is 65 years old and above. Ano? So anong meron diyan? Yung kanilang wisdom and fulfillment kasi they have lots of experiences from their birth up to their age of 65 and above, or pwede sila magkaroon ng regret and despair. Ano, pwede sabihin nila na inabot ko yung edad na to pero hindi ko nagawa yung mga bagay na mga gusto ko. Kaya nga 'di ba, sometimes 'di ba nagkaroon ng mga interviews yung mga millennials sa mga senior citizens. So ano yung lagi nyo napapanood sa mga reels, napapanood nyo sa YouTube. Ano, ang question ng isang millennial sa isang senior, ano yung may advice mo sa mga bata na tulad namin? 'Di ba? So anong ina-advise nila? Na you enjoy life. Ano? So because of that, parang ang nangyari, nagkaroon ng work-life balance na oo nga no, tumatanda kami na hindi namin na-enjoy yung life na we focus ourselves sa work and everything pero there's more than with our work, di ba? So, dyan po na de-develop yung integrity versus despair. So, dito nila mararamdaman na may bilang pa ba ako? Okay? Ako ba ay mayroong hindi na fulfill? Di ba? So, dyan po pumapasok ang theory ni Eric Erikson. No, right now you try to test or check with your family members, 'di ba? I-try niyo kung nasa silang development no, like your parents, no? I-try niyo kasi usually mga parents natin nasa generativity versus stagnation part na sila. Ano? So, yan yung medyo iniisip pa nila na nagiging productive pa ba ako sa mga family ko, nakakapag-contribute pa ba ako, may purpose pa ba yung aking papapagod, 'di ba? Or tatambay na ako kasi malapit na rin naman ako sa end of life, something like that, no? Or ma-stagnate na siya na parang, itong edad ko na to, madali na mapagod, hindi na ako ka-hire sa ibang mga workplace, di ba? So, dyan yung magagamit yun, no? Sa ating pag-assess ng ating mga patient, no? So, like for example, this one, the picture, no? A 75-year-old patient, di ba? Reflects on their life during a hospital stay. So, a nurse practicing with Erickson theory in mind might encourage storytelling and validate the patient's sense of accomplishment, ano, supporting the stage of integrity. Di ba usually nga, di ba pag may kausap kayong senior, ano lagi na sinasabi? Di ba, nung kabataan ko, ganito yung ginagawa ko, di ba? So why not gawin mo yan ngayon? Di ba? So, ganun po ang approaches, no? Kaya pag may matatanda dyan, lagi niyong i-uplift sila. Yung mga patient na pag geria, di ba mag-geriatric nursing kayo? Always you uplift their emotions. Ano? Kasi nasa integrity versus despair niya sila. Yung parang iniisip nila na may kulang pa ba akong nagawa? Or ako ba ay naging productive, naging ako ba ay makabuluhan ba ang buhay ko? Something like that, 'di ba? So, whether na ikaw ay merong hinanakit, no, sa kanila, you uplift their emotions, no? Sometimes kasi may conflict sa family, hindi maiiwasan, but you try to check this developmental milestone, doon yung marirealize na, oh my God, my parents are getting old, my grandparents are getting old, 'di ba? Same as with your mga bata, ng mga kapatid na ay may effect pala yung ginagawa ko, 'di ba? May effect pala yung pagpapagalit ko, 'di ba? Kaya nga yung mga law ngayon is parang 'di ba sinasabi bawal paluin kasi pag pinapalo ito yung magiging attitude. Bawal sigawan sa harap ng maraming tao. 'Di ba? Yung mga adolescent yan din sa may role confusion, 'di ba? And yung kanilang identity na bakit ako sinisigawan sa maraming tao? I am already a teenager. 'Di ba? So, dyan yung halaga ng psychosocial development theory. Okay? Next, we have the Albert Bandura, social learning theory. So people learn not only through direct experience but also by observing others. So in short, ini-imitate nila if ano yung nakikita nila. Ano, 'di ba? Sabi nga nila, children are the great imitators. If ano yung nakikita nila sa matatanda, ginagaya nila. Okay, so individuals can learn new behaviors by watching others or minomodel nila yung iba without direct reinforcement. So meaning, kahit hindi mo sila bigyan ng isang, hindi mo sila bigyan o bawasan, hindi nang change ay hindi na need para ma-change ang kanilang behavior but just by observing. Ano, ma-change ang kanilang behavior lalo if they can sense or they can predict ng advantage doon sa nakikita nila. 'Di ba? So, ano ba ang process of observational learning niyan ng kay Albert Bandura? The attention, retention, reproduction, and motivation. So, ano bang attention? The learner must notice the behavior. Ano? So, kailangan niya muna makita yung behavior bago niya magaya. Di ba? Kaya nga sa cases, nakikita ba nung bata yung ginagawa mo? O, di ba? Yung ganun sa mga court, kapag merong harassment, di ba? And then, retention. The behavior must be remembered. So, paano niya ma-remembered? Pag paulit-ulit niyang nakikita. Okay? And then next, reproduction. So, the learner must have the ability to replicate the behavior. Yung ba nakikita niyang ginagawa is kaya niya at his or her age. Diba? And then, motivation. There must be a reason or reward to imitate the behavior. Ano? So, meaning, pagka ginaya ko to, magiging kagaya ko si kuya o magiging kagaya ko si ate. 'Di ba? So, ganun po siya, no? So, in short po, kailangan niyang makita ng madalas and then kaya niyang gawin yung nakikita niya. Okay? And then, magbe-benefit siya kaya niya tinitignan, no? So, or kaya niya ginagaya. Okay? So, there is what you call the vicarious reinforcement. No, people are more likely to imitate a behavior if they see someone else being rewarded for it. So, ibig sabihin, ay, kay kuya, binibigyan siya ng ganito, ng ganyan, or nakakakuha siya ng ganito because ito yung ginagawa niya. So, I need to gaya. Ano, I need to imitate si kuya kahit na hindi niya alam kung good yun or bad. Ano, basta nakikita niya, ginagaya niya at may benefit si kuya, so malamang makukuha ko rin yun. Okay? So, nakita niyo tong picture, this is the bubudal experiment, no? So, ano yung bubudal, 'di ba? Sinusuntok-suntok niya yung kanyang yung bubudal, 'di ba? So, ginagaya-gaya niya lang yung bubudal. Okay? So, kumbaga parang sinusuntok-suntok niya, okay? So, for example, binubugbog nung adult yung bubudal. So, doon sa experiment nila, nung nakita nila na ginagawa yun nung adult, ginaya ngayon ng bata. No? So yun yung reason na tayong matatanda, yung mga ginagawa natin kailangan na hindi kaaya-aya, if hindi natin kayang pigilan, ay huwag natin pinapakita sa mga bata kasi they are the great imitator. Ano? So gagayahin yan, no, ng mga bata, no, kapag tayo ay patuloy na pinapakita sa kanilang ating mga gawain. Okay lang sana kung maganda yung mga ginagawa natin. So hindi po magiging sagabal sa development ng bata, no? Kasi mamaya makikita mo mayroong aggressive na bata because aggressive din pala yung family, 'di ba? Okay. So let's move on with the next theory, which is the social theory. So the focus of libido or the sexual energy shifts to different erogenous zones. So unresolved conflicts at any stage may lead to fixation and personality issues in adulthood. So erogenous na zones are areas of the body with heightened sensitivity that can trigger sexual arousal when stimulated. Ano? So, sabi nga nila, ang tao daw is a sexual animal. So, meaning daw talagang part ng life ng tao ang sex, no? So, however, it should be executed in the right way and the right time. Ano? So, ano ba ang libido? So, libido is a psychic energy focused on pleasure seeking. Okay? So ano naman ang fixation. So, unresolved conflict at a stage leads to persistent focus on that stage in adulthood. So, in short, parang gawain siya nung bata pero ginagawa siya ngayon na matanda. Ginagawa pa rin siya. So, fixated siya. Hindi siya naka-move up into a new level dito sa may psychosexual theory. So, i-discuss natin siya. You have your oral, anal, phallic, and your latency and genital stage. Okay? So, ayan. So, nakalagay dyan ay for example, okay, oral stage. So, anong age yan ng oral stage? Anong edad ng bata? That is birth to 1 year old. So, anong erogenous na kanyang zone? That is the mouth. In short, dito nagkakaroon ng parang pleasure. Ano? So, and then, ano ang kanyan? Key conflict. Ano? In the near future or the conflict, no? Like for example, during the weaning from breast to breast or breast ng mother or sa battle niya. For example, hindi mo na win agad at the age of 2, 'di ba? Ang advice is hanggang 2 years old, no? Pero 3, 4 years old, 5 years old pinapadede mo pa rin. Hindi mo na siya na win. So ngayon at a certain age, syempre medyo parang pangit naman na kung 10 years old dumedede pa, late mo siyang natanggal sa pag-inom sa tsupon. So anong magiging pag-shift niya para masatisfy yung kanyang mouth na meron nakachupapot o meron nakalagay is the oral behavior such as your smoking, nail biting, and overeating. So, hindi mo daw nasatisfy yung kanyang oral stage kasi agad nun sa appropriate stage niya. Okay na hanggang 1 year old lang. Then next, the anal. Ang anal is from 1 to 3 years old. Ano? So, anong kanya dyan? So, ano ang kanyang part na erogenous zone? That is your anus. So, anong dapat ma-develop niya dyan during that time? Your toilet training. Di ba? Toilet, ito, feeding. Toilet training. Okay? So, pag hindi siya or nagkaroon siya ng fixation, diyan, hindi mo siya naturuan at the age of 3 years old. Diba? Ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon ng anal retentive or nagkakaroon ng nagiging tamad, ano, or tumatai siya kung saan-saan, ano, nagkakaroon ng anal expulsive or expulsion, no, nagiging messy siya, pumupupo siya kung saan-saan or disorganized ang kanyang lugar. Ano, yung kanyang area, kung saan-saan nila niya binababay kanyang damit, saan-saan niya binababay sapatos, saan-saan niya pumupupo. 'Di ba? Or saan niya na lang, basta ihahang yung kung ano man yung hawak niya, 'di ba? O baka merong ganyan sa inyo, may tamad-tamaran sa bahay o baka mayroon kayong fixation. So, you need to check it also for yourself, no? And then, phallic stage, that is 3 to 6 years old. Ano? So, anong kanyang focus is the genitals. Ano? Dito nade-develop yung Oedipus and the Electra complex. So, identifying with the same sex parent. Okay? So, paano ba ang Oedipus and the Electra complex? Ano? Oedipus at saka Electra complex. So, paano daw po ba yan? So, paano ba ang Oedipus? So, ang Oedipus, like for example, nagkakaroon ng yung parang nakipag-compete yung anak na lalaki, yung son, sa kanyang father para ma-win ang kanyang mother. Okay? So, in short, parang ang tingin ni son kay father ay ka-rival niya kay mother, kaagaw niya. Sa Electra naman is yung daughter niya sinong kaagaw niya? Yung mother para sa kanyang father. Ano? Ito, yung daughter, ang tingin niya sa mother, kaagaw niya kay father. Okay? So, ngayon, if hindi yan ma-develop, ano? So, maaaring magkaroon ng vanity, recklessness, and sexual anxiety yung bata. Ano? Kasi parang hindi niya na-win yung mother, 'di ba? Or hindi niya kaya hindi niya napaalis yung father. So, hindi siya nanalo kay mother, something like that, no? That is the phallic stage, no? So, hindi niya na malaman dyan if siya ba ay girl or siya ba ay boy, kanino ba siya dapat, something like that. And then, latency, 6 to 12 years old. So, this is sexual feelings are dormant. So, in short, wala dyan, walang emotion na nararamdaman during that stage. So, developing of social and